Hi everyone, so I hope you all had a very happy new year and a lovely Christmas. So this is going to be my first video of 2015 and will also be the start of me coming back to BookTube. This will be the only video I'm uploading this week. I'll be back next week hopefully with either 2 or 3 videos and then that should be me until, well, whenever. So you can expect 2 or 3 videos a week from me now, depending on what videos I can think of doing, depending on how many book reviews I've got that I can record as well. But I'm hoping for 2 to 3 videos every week. So today I'm here to share with you guys my top 14 books that I read in 2014. I know it's a wee bit late, but I figured this was probably the best video to come back with because I really enjoyed going through everyone's lists of their favourite books of last year, and I will be going through everyone's videos of their favourite books of last year as well. So let's just get started. At number 14 I have Fire and Flood by Victoria Scott. This is a dystopian that follows a girl who needs to find the cure for her younger brother, I think it is. I can't remember whether it's brother or sister because it's been quite a few months since I read this one. But she is entered in this game and there's loads of other people looking for a cure because there's this disease that's going around, I believe, and they're all competing to get this cure. It sounds kind of Hunger Games-ish, but it's actually not. It's fantastic, it's superb. The main thing I adored about this series was the Pandoras. Each contestant has to pick their own Pandora, and that whole scenario just reminded me of Pokemon when Ash had to come pick his first Pokemon. So that kind of, it brought back childhood memories, and also it was just fab. The Pandoras are fantastic, they're so intelligent, they're so smart, and they're amazing. They just completely make the story. The whole storyline was action-packed and thrilling. You had no idea what was going to happen, and the ending has just left me dying for Salt and Stone, which is the second book, and it is out very soon, so I cannot wait to grab that one. At number 13 I have Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. I adore Colleen Hoover's books. Like, I love her books. There hasn't been a book of hers that I've hated yet. So picking a favourite of hers was quite hard considering I read nearly all of her books last year. But Maybe Someday stood out for me the most because it was the one that made me cry the most. It follows a girl who finds out that her boyfriend is cheating with her best friend, and she decides that she needs to move out because she can't live with him anymore, and she turns to the guy who lives in the apartment across from her because she's been getting to know him. So when she goes to live with Ridge, there is a twist that you find out about Ridge, which I'm not going to tell you about because it completely makes the story. That whole twist with Ridge adds an extra something to the book that just makes it even more amazing than it would have been without it. It's one of the most beautifully written books and the most heartbreaking books ever. I just love it. At number 12 we have The Retribution of Mara Dyer, which is the final book in the Mara Dyer trilogy. I have been waiting for this book for such a long time. I read Unbecoming about 2-3 years ago. I read Evolution about 1.5 to 2 years ago, and I've been waiting ever since I finished Evolution for this book. It kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, but it finally came out, and it was everything that I could have ever asked Michelle Hodkin for. It was crazy, it was full of twists. I didn't know what the hell was going on in this book half the time, because you never know whether you're getting the truth from Mara or whether she's seeing something that's actually not there. So it's extremely twisted and it messes with your head, but it is fantastic. I adore this series so much, and perfect conclusion. At number 11 I have Ignite Me by Tahereh Mafi, which is another final book in a trilogy. This one is the final book in the Shatter Me trilogy. I only started reading the Shatter Me series towards the end of 2012, I think I read Shatter Me, and then I got completely invested in Unravel Me and Ignite Me in 2014. But Ignite Me just topped Unravel Me. It just completely topped it. It was fantastic. Juliet got even more badass, Warner got even more swoony and also badass. So yes, Ignite Me was a perfect conclusion to this trilogy as well, purely because of how amazing Julie X got, and also Warner. At number 10 I have Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. This one was a pretty big surprise for me last year. I'm not the biggest historical fiction fan, I honestly can't get through them, but Brittany sent me a copy of Outlander, and countless people had recommended Outlander to me as well. I think Jen from Today in Jen's Library was another one who'd recommended me it, so thank you guys so much for recommending this series so much. And yeah, I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I am kicking myself for not taking everyone up on their recommendations earlier on, because this book was fantastic. I love Jamie, I love Claire, I love the fact that it's set in Scotland, in the Highlands, in the, is it 1800s, 1700s? I totally forgot what year it was set in. But it's fantastic, and Jamie Fraser just makes this book. He just makes it because he's Jamie Fraser. At number 9 I have Don't Look Back by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So I had a massive Jennifer L. Armentrout books to pick from to put on my list, and I only wanted to put in one. And I read quite a few of her books last year, but I decided to go with Don't Look Back because I sent her the full giveaway around that book because I loved it so much. So Don't Look Back is a story of a girl and her best friend who ends up out in the woods in the mountains, and then the next day only one of the girls comes back, and she can't remember what happened to her best friend, she can't remember why she's covered in blood, she can't remember anything. So it's all about her discovering what happened, someone trying to scare her away from the truth, and yeah, it's just such a fantastic and thrilling book that left me with chills and goosebumps because it was pretty creepy at moments. At number 8 we have The Jewel by Amy Ewing. This dystopian just completely surprised me. I kind of went off dystopians last year. I'd read quite a lot of them back in 2013 for the dystopian reading challenge that I was doing, so I kind of just lost momentum with them. But The Jewel came and surprised me. It was a fantastic, fantastic debut. I absolutely adored it. It's been likened to The Selection, but honestly I wouldn't really say it's like The Selection, and I love The Selection, so yeah, but there's very, very few similarities between it. The main character, for one, is a lot more decisive, and she's a lot more badass actually than America. But yeah, it was just the twists that were on this book and everything that happened, the world building, the politics and everything behind it was just fantastic. And the ending was a huge, huge, huge cliffhanger, and I have no idea what's going to happen next because the ending just took me by surprise. Didn't see it coming, didn't expect it at all. So yes, I need book 2 now. At number 7 we have Open Road Summer by Emery Lord. This is another debut which has made it onto my list. It's a adorable, cute summer read. I flew through this. The main reason being Matt Finch, because Matt Finch is just so dreamy and so charming and sweet and amazing. But it follows Reagan and Dee, who are going on a road trip because Dee is a famous singer. So it's all about them bonding and the friendship and romance over the summer, and yeah, it's just such a fantastic contemporary. At number 6 we have The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. I have been wanting to read this one for so long, and I finally got to it this year. I think it was one of the very first books I read in 2014, and I completely fell in love with it. I can't believe that I waited so long to actually read it. Again, because it was historical fiction, I avoided it, but it just... The Book Thief has a special place in my heart now. It was fantastic. It follows a young girl called Lyra who lives in Germany during World War II. So you have all the Jews and the Nazis, and you're getting it from, well, you're getting to see a young girl living in that sort of situation, and it's really intriguing. But the most intriguing part of that book is it's told from the point of view of Death, and I don't think the story would have been the same if it hadn't been told from Death's point of view, because we got a very unique perspective there, and it was fantastic. It broke me, and I don't think I'll ever be able to read it again because of how much it broke me, but yeah, it's such an amazing book. At number 5 we have The Art of Lainey by Paula Stokes. This was my ultimate YA contemporary of the year. I adored this book so much. It follows this girl called Lainey whose boyfriend breaks up with her, so then Lainey and her best friend decide that they're going to adapt the art of war to win her boyfriend back. So while doing that, Lainey has to convince one of the guys she works with to be her fake boyfriend, and then, you know, romance ensues. But it's not just a romance. It's about Lainey discovering herself, discovering who she was pretending to be with specific people, and finding out who she actually wants to be, which was what I loved about this book. I loved Lainey's journey of self-discovery. Lainey's journey is why this book is on my top 14. At number 4 we have You're the One That I Want by Giovanna Fletcher. Holy crap, I just get full of emotions every time I think or talk about this book, because it's soul destroying, heartbreaking, but also so beautiful and amazing and perfect. Even though the ending killed me, it's a perfect ending. And yeah, I can't really describe much about the book because spoilers, but it follows Maddie, Ben and Rob, who are extremely close best friends and always have been since they were very young. So it's their journey of friendship, romance, love, and yeah, I'm actually getting a wee bit teary talking about it because the ending is just if you pick up this book you're gonna cry a lot, but I really recommend it because it's amazing. At number 3 we have Stolen Songbird by Danielle L. Jensen. This book completely took me by surprise. I knew I was going to love it, but I didn't think I was going to love it as much as I did. It's about this girl called Cecile, and she ends up getting kidnapped and sold to some trolls who live underground. So yeah, the minute I heard that that was the synopsis, I was like, sign me up for that book because I want it. I want it now. But you find out all about the trolls who have been trapped underground for centuries by a witch's curse, so you're finding all about their history, why they were trapped, finding out all about the world of Trollus, and Danielle L. Jensen created such an amazing world. I could picture the whole of Trollus in my head because she gave such a fantastic description of it. I adored the characters. Cecile and Tristan are amazing. The ending was horrible. Really, really horrible. I was very upset at the ending, but Hidden Huntress is out very, very soon, and I have already pre-ordered it because I need the second book so bad. So yes, number 3. Number 2 we have Heir of Fire by Sarah J Maas. Obviously this is going to be in my top 2 because it's Sarah J Maas and it's Heir of Fire. But the reason this one ended up in my top 2 was we got to learn a lot more about Selena in this book. We got to learn about her past. We got to see her change. She changed a lot. She went through a lot in this book. She became a better person for it. And the other reason that this ended up in my top 2 was the introduction of the new characters. I loved getting to learn about Aedion, Manon and Rowan. Mostly Manon though, because Manon is so freaking badass and I cannot wait to see where her and the rest of the witches fit into the story. I have a idea, but Sarah J Maas never seems to go with what I think she's going to go with, so I'm really excited about that. But Rowan was such an interesting character and he was just so amazing. And Aedion, I'm quite excited to see more of Aedion in the rest of the series as well. So yes, Heir of Fire took my number 2 spot. And at number 1 we have A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J Maas. I was extremely lucky to win a review copy of this from Bloomsbury. So thank you so much, Bloomsbury. This completely made my year. So A Court of Thorns and Roses is about a girl called Feyre who ends up killing a wolf that wasn't actually a wolf, but it was a fairy, and she ends up getting taken hostage by the fairies and taken back to their land. So yes, I was really excited to start reading a fairy book by Sarah J Maas because it's hit or miss with fairies for me. Julie Kagawa's Iron Frey series was fantastic, but I've read a few other fairy books that I don't like. So I was keeping my fingers crossed for this one, and I don't even know why I had to cross my fingers because it's Sarah J Maas. Everything she writes is pure gold. But this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling as well, and I loved the way Sarah J Maas interwove all like the main themes from Beauty and the Beast into the story. It was fantastic. The whole world building was fantastic. I'm quite excited to learn more about the world. I'm also quite excited to learn more about Feyre and Tamlin as we go on, because Feyre is just such an amazing character. Tamlin is fantastic. I loved Lucas, but the main character I'm excited about learning more about is Rhys. And I'm not going to say any more about Rhys because he doesn't come into it until a wee bit further on in the book. But something happened to Rhys at the end, and I don't know what happened to him, and I would like to know, and I need book 2. And I've got a while to wait for book 2 now, so the wait will kill me, but I will just read the first one over and over again, so it's okay. But the whole story that Sarah J Maas created is fantastic. I actually preferred it to Throne of Glass, and yeah, I didn't expect to prefer anything to Throne of Glass, but it's Sarah J Maas as well, so that kind of makes sense. A Court of Thorns and Roses is fantastic, and I cannot wait for everyone to be able to read it this year. So there we go, that is my top 14 books of 2014. Let me know in the comments below if you had any of these books on your list and what your favourite book of 2014 was. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I will be back next week with another video for you guys. Bye everyone!